Hello, welcome to program Important Issue. I'm Zarina Kozova, and we today to discuss about religion in modern society. Today our guest, Organization of American States Commissioner for Religion Freedom, Mr. Marvanom Sarvaro Gillom. Mr. Marvanom Sarvaro Gillom, thank you for your attention. I'm glad to be here. And my first question is about your participation in this forum. What's the main goals of the participants of current forum in Astane, and what's the essential global issue would you to pay attention?
First of all, I think I feel very honored and privileged to be here. I'm the Commissioner for Religious Freedom, and due to my work as Imam of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in Argentina. So I think it's the first time that someone from Argentina is here at the Congress. And for me, I think in times of where we see globally so many tensions, so many wars, armed conflicts, but I would see even just if you look regionally, you have so many tensions and polarizations and drifts within the societies. So I think it's a huge achievement what the government and the society of Kazakhstan has achieved here. Bringing people from east, west, north, south, from such a diverse religious, ethnic, cultural background, all together for the only sake of peace. I think it's a huge achievement. And it shows also the commitment with the cause. And on the other side, I think also through the 2 decades of already promoting this message, shows also the trust they have generated within the participants. We all know the conflict in Ukraine and also the war in Gaza has caused so many rifts and I would say walls between societies where it's almost impossible to sit together. And look here, we can. People from different backgrounds are here. Obviously, we have differences. There are ideological, theological, political differences. But I think it's very important to understand the concept of dialogue. Dialogue is not that you and me, we have to think the same, we have to believe the same. No, that's not the concept of dialogue. The concept of dialogue is achieving unity through respecting and acknowledging the diversity. And instead of focusing on the differences, we should put on the table the common values. And especially amongst religions, if we analyze, we will find that there are much more concepts and values which unite us than those concepts which will divide us, especially starting off that we all believe in a creator. He's the creator of all mankind. And it's a common value, universal value. If you love him, then you have to be in peace and love all his creation without any distinction of creed, color, race, or nationality.
And your point of view, has the Congress, this forum, changed as global platform?
Definitely it has changed. I think, and as a Muslim, I feel very proud that a Muslim country like Kazakhstan has not only taken this initiative, but also playing a key role in bringing everyone together and promoting especially such platforms where peacemakers can come, dialogue, but not only dialogue, not only verbal exchange, but also look into precise, concrete actions. The President, His Excellency, in his opening speech and his remarks, very interestingly, he said we are in a post-secular society age now, where he believes, and I agree with him, that religions are going to play a very crucial and vital role, according or especially in reference to, in regards to global issues such as climate change, as he also mentioned in his speech. The other point he mentioned, I think that's very important, is the artificial intelligence and the moral or the ethic conduct. So he himself proposed kind of 2 very concrete platforms where religions should and could work together. And I think after this, which has been mentioned today many times during the sessions and the speeches and the remarks, is the duty of religions towards a more peaceful and humane world.
It's obviously from the first forum in Astana in 2003, the world has changed dramatically. What's the main challenges and problems of modern society, and what are the you're personally concerned about it?
I think my personal concern is that as a human race, we always go through different cycles. And if you analyze now, especially with the social media, fake news going around, so there are more and more voices, especially if you see also the clashes between, let's say, more liberal and then more conservative voices. You find that more and more voices, it seems that they prefer to going back to the ages of Cold Wars. And again, the separation between West and East. And I mean, I think it would be going backwards in history. And that's why I think it's crucial if we keep this in mind. Because you had not only the armed conflicts, not only the war in Gaza or Ukraine, also I would say the tariff wars happening, the commercial conflicts happening. So I think it's important to understand that we are always going to have differences. I think it's part of our DNA, it's part of our democracy, it's part of our pluralistic, open society. There is always going to be differences. But the issue is, how are we going to react towards those differences? According to my vision, the solution is not that we start building up walls and separating from each other. Rather, the differences should lead us to the table, discuss it. God has given us the talent to speak, rather to use the arms, so the weapons. So that's, I think, that's why it's so crucial, these kind of platforms, and especially to highlight, as for me as an imam, I think religion is a personal, a very intimate decision. If someone wants to follow any religion, this is his right. But what is important is that we work together to establish the sanctity of human life and the respect for each other. And there I think it's a very crucial role we have to fulfill, and we have to all come together, not only the religious figures, but also the politicians, the academia, the journalists, the media. So I think that's our main challenge.
Okay. To your mind, what should the government to do in order to not have the generation gap with young people?
I think that's also what we see now, the Generation Z, right? And even if you look around in our area in Asia, we just recently had the protests in Nepal, the Bangladesh, Sri Lanka.
Zoomers.
So you can see that there's a constant frustration amongst the so-called Generation Z, the young generation. They don't feel addressed by the political, let's say, issues or involvement. The same we see now less young people in the mosque, churches, synagogues. So I think there's definitely a barrier, and we have to connect ourselves with the challenges of the young people. We have to listen to them. We have to engage with them. And I think especially nowadays where you have the challenge of social media, I think also it shows us that, I would say from our side, the religious figures, that the same tools we should also use for the well-being of our youngsters. To use the same platforms, but instead of promoting on these platforms hate speech or violence or kind of negative sentiments, we should use the same platforms to promote peace, as you're doing with the podcast, right?
Yes, as a journalist.
Yes.
It's a power of media, yes? And you might, what's the way for the forum to be more active?
I think it's very important that the forum doesn't just stay amongst the leaders. I think it's very crucial that if we want to advance, that what we discuss here, it should be then afterwards converted into actions. Many times we see, especially speaking about UN and the international organizations and platforms, and that's one of the main critique young people do, that our world leaders, they come together, they sign a very nice joint resolution or statement, they publish on social media, on Twitter, on X, their statements, but afterwards there are no actions. So that's what we can see now, everyone is condemning what's happening in Gaza for almost 2 years. But if you go on the practical side, no change happening. Our world leaders are still urging, criticizing, asking, declaring, but there's no practical solutions. I think it's very important to back up your desires, because we all want peace, peace, peace. There's constantly you're going to hear someone who's a believer or a non-believer, okay, from east, from west, anywhere. That's a very common objective. But peace is not just a sentimental desire. It's not just a verbal expression. You have to work for peace. Peace has to be constructed. And therefore, to construct something, you need to put your effort into it. It's an action. So that's also what Islam teaches us, that faith should be expressed and manifested by your deeds. You know, you have the term in Islam, which is amalan salih, the righteous deeds. So I think that's what we need. So after this forum, it should be converted into certain precise actions.
Okay, thank you for your answers, for your time. It was program Important Issue, and I would like to remind that you can read all the important news on the website BAQ.KZ News Inform Agency. See you soon.